Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 12 of QTech. Since the end of the last video, I've had all our items moved off the storage disks and into the bins that we set up last episode. So remember before our digital storage was like almost full, we had something like 250,000 items in here. Well, now it's down to 32,000 and I guess it was decreasing earlier, now it's increasing, but 33,000. So all the high volume items are now stored over here. It's all the way across the base in the laggy half of the base. Although it's not that laggy without the TNT running. So yeah, 66,000 coal, 54,000 iron, yada yada yada. Alright, cool. With that out of the way, let's move on to the beginning of today's project. So today I would like to start dun dun dun, the end game. And that begins with the hardened solar panel. So solar panels in this pack, they're not particularly useful, but they represent the end game crafting challenge. So the hardened solar panel, you need basically 8 of each previous tier solar panel to make the next one, right? So you need 8 leadstone to make a hardened, 8 hardened to make a redstone, 8 redstone to make a signalum, 8 signalum to make a resonant, 8 resonant to make an advanced, 8 advanced to make an ultimate, and I think you're done there. Now the ultimate solar panel produces, it produces a lot of power, but it's like, what are you going to do with it at that point? And you need the relevant core, so we're going to have to, each of these cores takes something that may or may not be difficult to make, like liquid DT fuel, among other things. So let's not get ahead of ourselves and start with the hardened solar panel. Actually, first, let me count how many tiers we need so I can tell you how many leadstone solar panels we need total to make the ultimate. Turns out there's an easier way than doing math to calculate. Each tier, you just sum up the total energy generation to get to, basically the hardened one is 8 leadstones literally glued together. Likewise, so a ultimate is 262,144 leadstone solar panels literally glued together. So that's how many of these we have to make in the end. And that's really the challenge. We're going to have, these various solar cores along the way. We're going to have to make those too. But the real challenge is, can you make enough leadstone solar panels? Most of the cores, they're not literally one-offs, but they're pretty darn close to one-offs. Oh, we have to make crystals? Dang it. I was hoping not to have to set up this process. Oh, well, whatever. It's not a big deal. All right, well, let's start from the beginning and we'll we'll tackle each challenge as we reach it. I put in the recipe for leadstone solar panels and it's I skipped some. I didn't put in the recipe for the photovoltaic cells. So let's encode these as well. Right off the bat, just out of curiosity, I want to request the 262,000, however many, and see how it does. I expect we'll find that we're missing a lot of ingots. But, alright, let's take these patterns, put them into here, and make a request for 262,144 leadstone solar panels. What could go wrong? It's actually very fast at calculating it. Alright, so we need a lot of glass, a lot of iron, a lot of lapis. This is actually better than I expected. I can make carbon out. I can teach it how to make enriched carbon out of coal. We just need to make our cobble generator specifically make more glass, I guess. Why don't I go upgrade the bin on our cobble generator to, or on our cobble works rather, the bin holding glass to a higher tier bin. So right now it holds 8,000 and something. If I upgrade it to an ultimate tier, it holds, 200 something thousand. It holds more than the 60,000 we need. Now, because this is going to use cobblestone, I have to actually turn this on again. I should also turn the actual cobblestone generation on again, and that will cause a lot of lag. So I just have to avoid this part of the base now. Alright, well, production is going. I'm not going to blow up these bins, are we? Nah, I think if nothing goes wrong, those bins are safe. I hope. I would hate to spew hundreds of thousands of items into my world. Alright, I added coal to enrich carbon in here. So now, these are leadstone solars. If we were to request 262144, Yep, it's just iron, glass, and lapis. All three of these resources are, they're being worked on, right? Our quarry is digging up iron and lapis. Our quarry needs more energy. I wonder, what happens if I just upgrade the pipes connecting it to ultimate tier? Does that give it more? I think it does. I think because connections are effectively point to point, by connecting the two ends, because this endpoint is an ultimate cable and this endpoint is an ultimate cable, it's able to deliver energy as if the entire segment were energy or were ultimate tier cables. By the way, you are running, right? I think. Maybe? I guess I'll watch a fuel number. If the fuel number goes down, it's running. No, maybe it's not running. Why are you not running? I might have had the setting backwards. Also, is it off to run? Hold on, let's test. Off means it's running. Then if I were to get a lever, then on means it stops running, I presume? Are you still running? No, you're still running, right? Yeah, why are you still running when you have a signal then? How does this redstone control work? Alright, well, give me a second to experiment with that. Turns out if you read the documentation, it tells you what you do. It has to go into one of these ports. So the fact that I have it here is going to make it not run. Which is, reasonably sensible. Alright, I need another piece of dust. And, geez, llamas, you sound gross. And now, that should have turned it off. Yeah. So, that turns it back on. Alright, we'll leave this lever here. This will be a manual override. It'll still automatically turn off when the energy cube fills up, but now I have a manual way to turn it off if I want that as well. Alright, so now our quarry has full power, so it's running as fast as it can. Which, this looks faster than it ran a couple days ago. Am I crazy? I'm probably crazy. Alright, whatever. With these recipes encoded then, let's encode the recipe for the next tier, which is a hardened solar panel. So each tier has 8 of those and a new core. Bronze and redstone alloy. Okay. I think I can just encode these and we'll be good. To start things off then, let's order one of these to complete the quest. But we're going to need 32,768 eventually. So put that in and see. Yeah, that introduces a couple more bottlenecks. We need 8,000 bronze and 3,000 redstone alloy ingots. So why don't I go dedicate an alloy smelter to each of these and I'll just have it build up to these thresholds. So like 10,000 and 5,000, let's call it that. We need to go slightly over because the solar cores are used in the, next tier solar core as well. Turns out there's an easier way to make bronze than in the alloy furnace. We can do it in a metallurgic infuser with, I believe it maintains the 1 tin to 3 copper ratio, although there is an enriched tin. So let's try that out and see what the ratio is with that. Not that we're lacking tin, but it's good to understand mechanics again. So if I put, no, I need my enriching factory, this one. No? Looks like it has to be the dust form. Yeah, okay. So that makes enriched tin, which, if we put it into an infusing factory, produces 80 tin. If I get some bronze, or no, if I get copper rather, how much is it? 3 to 1? Yeah. For this auto sort breaks it. Whoopsies. All right. How much is consumed per operation? 10. So that means for each piece of tin, we can do 30 bronze. So I've already done 3. Let's put 27 more in. Yeah, that looks about right. All right. Honestly, it's probably not worth the trouble to enrich the tin with how much tin we have. In fact, we have more tin than copper, don't we? Yeah, we have 13,000 tin and only 5,000 copper. So given that, I'm not going to bother with enriching tin. I'll just set up a recipe that is... Hello? Give me copper? No? My copper. No, there it goes. Okay. I'm just gonna set up a recipe that is one tin and 3 copper. I think that's the regular ratio. Let me just confirm really quick. Oh, does it have to be dust? Can I not put regular tin in here? Okay. Well, if we have to crush the tin anyways, then we may as well crush the ingot, enrich it, turn it to copper, and then turn that to bronze. So by my calculations, 16 pieces of enriched tin go with 6 stacks of copper, produce 9 stacks of bronze, and it's actually occurred to me that regardless of whether or not I use the auto sort feature, it's going to get jammed. Even if I don't auto sort, they'll still get jammed. So, right, like you could end up with, you know, your last 2 pieces of copper, 2 here, 1 here, and that's jammed. So no matter what I do, I'm going to have to manually fix it. So I'm just going to order a ginormous batch of bronze. Order a ginormous, what was the hotkey to, there we go, Control Shift right click apparently. Anyways, order like 6,000 of this. I know I need a bit more than 6,000, but I only have so much copper. Start, and then that way I only have to fix up the jam once at the end. But yeah, this makes a lot of bronze very fast. I also bumped up the threshold on this to 5,000. But this machine, unlike the metallurgic or the infusing factory when it's at ultimate tier with full upgrades, that's slow. This is fast. Alrighty, with the hardened solar panel tackled, let's go to the redstone solar panel next. So that recipe is this, and what's in the solar core. Energized steel we can make on demand already. I don't know how much we need, but for now I'll try and make it on demand. Refined glowstone, we need a osmium compressor for. Let me, I think I have one, I just have to attach it to our refined storage system, right? Had a cute little basic factory laying around with no upgrades. So I'm going to upgrade it to the ultimate tier, give it some upgrades, and hook it up. I set up our machine and the recipe to input 64, 1 stack of glowstone and osmium. That has to be filtered into 2 different sides here because it only takes 1 type of input per side. So there's purple input, red input. And when I went to craft, I had exactly 63 pieces of glowstone. It's like the game is mocking me. I even went and checked my mob farm here. I was like, maybe I have some glowstone in here. No glowstone. I do need the sugar though, I'll take that. In any event, that means we're going to need more glowstone. Even if I had glowstone in there, we're going to need more glowstone. So let's get our digital miner. Here's our, I already got it. All right, we'll put this in the nether and have it mine glowstone. So where's my other quantum entangled teleporter? Here it is. I need to, take the items out of here, right? Previously, the items from here were being sent directly to ore processing, but now I'll probably just put a chest here and import bus them, or importer them into the storage system. Also, I appear to be missing cables. Apparently these cables are a bit too close to the explosions. Dang it, it's happened again. It's the second time I've quarried my nether portal. I should just put it somewhere I don't run the quarry, but the quarry should not run over this part of the nether core or this part of the base again. So I should be safe to build it out of obsidian and not having it quarried a 3rd time. Here I am once again in the nether. I've configured our digital miner to mine glowstone, and I hit the start button and there are 0 pieces of glowstone in range. Turns out in a cylinder of 32 block radius around the digital miner, there's just literally 0 glowstone. And looking around, yeah, I believe it. There's no glowstone around. The digital miner is good for sparse ores, but perhaps we're too sparse here. Don't blow up my digital miner. I was going to kill you later, but now I have to kill you now. That was very rude of you. Do you know that? Alright, well, let's go get my 2 gas tiers off it. Did I fail to one-shot a gas again? 2 gas tiers? Only 1. Unlucky. But I'm probably going to have to put a builder over here to actually get glowstone, because yeah, apparently they're a little bit too spread apart to meaningfully get with the digital miner. In any event, I'll set up that quarry later. For now, I just gathered a couple stacks by mining it with my pickaxe. So I just want to make sure that this recipe works as intended. Items go in here, they get distributed here. We'll turn auto balance on, and we're off to the races. So again, in this version of Mechanism, it seems to be an exact 1-to-1 ratio of glowstone dust to, oh, in fact, it's a better than 1-to-1 ratio. You get some leftovers. Well, it's fine to have leftover osmium, I guess. Anyways, with that solved, I think, can we just make the, or it's not glowstone, it's, what's the tier? Hardened? No, we're already at hardened. What's the tier above hardened? Redstone. I think we're ready to make the redstone solar panel. Nope, blazing crystal. All right, let me teach you how to make that really quick. Looks like a pretty straightforward empower recipe. Energizing. It's kind of like the empower. I mean, I guess not all the items go in the middle, but I'll take this recipe, drop it off here. All right, let's try that again. Give me 1 redstone solar. Sure, lots of steps in there, but they're automated steps, so pew pew, lasers. Aha, there's the crystal, and let's check on the crafting. Why did my bronze get stuck? Let's see. The bronze got stuck because I apparently had the wrong ratio. Oh no. Oh, this is just the stuck condition that I mentioned initially. Because, you know, at the very end, the materials will be distributed in a way that gets it stuck. Oh, it also got interrupted by a different type of recipe. I understand now. All right, I probably just gotta cancel the rest of that bronze task. We'll make the rest of the bronze later when the machine's not in use. So you get out of here. Let these craft. Let those craft. And what's the bottleneck here? It's also that same machine. All right, infusing factory. Get busy. Ah, our crafting backlog has cleared up, and we have a redstone solar panel. So there's another 2 advancements. I guess it's probably in 2 different tabs. Yeah. All right. Anyways, it looks like after redstone, though, there's we gotta take a detour. We need a pressurized reaction chamber, presumably because the next step in the process uses, let's see, yep, HDPE sheets. All right. So neotic crystals we can make. Signalum, I think it's a simple alloy smelter recipe. But HDPE sheets are made from HDPE pellets, which is the, I've done this before in other packs, but there's like a 10-ish machine process that ultimately makes it. So we need a couple pressurized reaction chambers, and then like well, let's see what exactly it is. So the last step is to turn substrate into it. Substrate is made from water and hydrogen in a pressurized reaction chamber with biofuel, so we need another one of these. Water is just water. Hydrogen is made in an electrolytic separator, so we need one of those. And biofuel is made in a crusher, so we need one of these. And we need something crushable, so we need some type of farm. All right, let's get on it. I came back here to check on the status of my farm, and it's all gone. What happened to it? I have no clue. I didn't harvest it. So something happened to my farm and it's gone. But oh well. I was thinking about what to do for biofuel, and I was gonna just harvest what we had and run it, you know, on a one-off for biofuel. But I think in the long term, I want to use sugarcane for biofuel. Sugarcane has this unique thing that it can be farmed easily, and while there are farm blocks, like there's a planter and harvester from Industrial Foregoing in this pack, why don't we do a very cool vanilla sugarcane farm? Let me show you what I mean. This contraption here isn't just a noisemaker. It is, among other things, very noisy, but it takes advantage of what's called a zero-tick pulse generator. So it generates zero-tick long redstone pulses. They do physically light up, but it causes pistons to be able to, let me turn it off and show you what's actually happening here. There's two pieces of dirt here, and it's able to push them back and forth in a manner that there's always a piece of dirt under this sugarcane. So what it does is by shaking that dirt, every single time the dirt moves under the sugarcane has a chance to receive, or does receive, a growth tick. And every, 7-ish times it receives a growth tick, it grows by 1 level, it grows taller. So by pushing this this dirt back and forth underneath the sugarcane, we're able to cause it to grow reasonably quickly. I think it's 7, maybe, I don't know. Every some number of pulses, it causes the sugarcane to grow. Above it is just a harvester. This is nothing special. So this contraption can be built fully in vanilla. The pulse generator here is fully vanilla. Obviously, this piston, you can use whatever timer of your choice to tick it. I'm just using a RF Tools timer. In fact, I could probably even make it quieter by setting its duration lower. Pulse it a little less often. It doesn't actually cost you any growth, right? Because once it grows, it, begins growing the next tick. Anyways, picking the items up, in vanilla, if you watch the sugarcane there, kind of gets thrown all over the place. So it can be a little difficult to pick up, but because we have mods, we get to use the Ender Hopper for that. Makes life a little bit easier. And this is a reasonably fast and compact sugarcane farm. If I end up needing more sugarcane than this, I can just tile it. But for now, this here will serve as my sugarcane farm to make biofuel for HDPE. So one thing to keep in mind is that this pulse generator has to lie entirely within one chunk. So that's why I have trunk borders on. The first time I built this, I forgot about that, and I kind of built it like between these two chunks. And I spent like half an hour. I was like, why doesn't this work? Did I build it wrong? Is Forge different enough from vanilla that it doesn't work on Forge? But no, you just build it in a chunk, and it's perfectly happy. All right, anyways, moving on, let's use that sugarcane now. Let's hook a external storage up to that sugarcane drawer, I guess, and or bin, and we'll use that to make biofuel for HDPE. The first step then in making HDPE is to make biofuel. So again, sugarcane into a crusher. I don't know why I upgraded to Ultimate Tier. I guess because it's cheap. Most of the machines in this process, like the pressurized reaction chamber, don't have factory versions. So the bottleneck is not going to be the crusher. So I probably won't even bother putting upgrades in it. We'll leave it energy efficient for what little that's worth. Anyways, now that we have biofuel, we can, let's see, so that reacts in a pressurized reaction chamber with water and hydrogen. So first, let's make the hydrogen. I'll take an electrolytic separator and some water. Hydrogen's quite easy, so an electrolytic separator being supplied with water, and I'll put upgrades in it later, but puts hydrogen in one side, oxygen in a tank in the other. We'll end up using both of them, and I'm not sure which one will be the bottleneck yet. So the resource that is the bottleneck, I'll set on idle. The other one, I'll set on dump excess. I think hydrogen will be the bottleneck, so that's what I temporarily have it set to, but I could be wrong. All right, anyways, with hydrogen, the next step is to get water, hydrogen, and biofuel into a pressurized reaction chamber. As you can see, I've already done that. However, normally the challenge with this is that you have 3 different input types, right? You have fluid in, gas in, item in, and in pure mechanism, each of these things takes a side. You also have energy in, so that's a 4th thing. You have item out and fluid out. So basically you have 6 sides of the machine and 6 things you want to do with it. It's like a disaster to try to handle that with mechanism cables. It's possible. You have as many sides as you need. However, it is a wiring disaster. So I decided, let's use XNet for this. XNet allows you to transfer all these things on one side or in one block space. So another good option is Ender.io if you have that, but we don't have it here. I do have power behind the machine. I just happen to place it against a power cable, so I'm not doing power over XNet. Now let me show you how this logic works. I have 4 channels: power, fluids, items, and gases. Name that. Naming it is, just for your own convenience. All right, so power. I use the power channel to transfer power from the energy cable to the pump, because the pump isn't connected directly to an energy cable. You don't have to do that. I could have just run energy cables underground here. That's easy to understand. Now fluids. I use that to transfer water from the fluid tank into the pressurized reaction chamber. It's filtered for water, but I don't know, there will be a second fluid on this network later. So it's important that this filter exists. So that inserts water, and I have the machine configured to accept all different inputs on the left. So energy or item input on left, fluid input on left, and gas input on left. All right. Next, we have items. So likewise, from the crusher, I'm importing biofuel and exporting it to the ultimate crushing, or sorry, inputting it from, extracting it, there we go, from the crushing factory, and inserting it into the pressurized reaction chamber. So that's how this gets here. Cool. Now I have two outputs, substrate and ethylene. These I cannot also output the left side because each side, can be item in or item out, not both. So I'll set the front side to be item out, and ethylene is a gas. So I'll set that as well as gas out the front. And then that's what this connector here is for, to access these things. So now that I'm making substrate and ethylene, though, we're near the end. Substrate and ethylene can be recombined to make HDPE and bonus oxygen. So this, however, uses liquid ethylene. So step one is to take the ethylene from here and turn it into liquid ethylene. So that will require a condensator from Mechanism. So let me go build one of those really quickly. I think it'll be pretty simple. Let's see, a rotary condensator. Yeah, that should be fine. So let's encode this recipe. And I think I need to encode the fluid tank recipe as well. Dump it in here. And we should be able to request one. There we go. All right, there's one rotary condensator. For reasons I still don't understand, Mechanism decided that the extra complexity of gases not being fluids was worth it. So there's this machine whose sole purpose is to turn gases into fluids. But gases are fluids. But gases aren't fluids. But gases are. You know what? Let's stop before I confuse everything. Quite simply, then, a rotary condensator, where given ethylene, produces liquid ethylene. I decided to simplify things a bit with just a pressurized tube here. Yeah, I could have done it through XNet, same function, but this doesn't require me to go to the controller block and figure out which block needs to send to which block. All right, anyways, now that this is the last step, we combine liquid ethylene with oxygen and substrate in a pressurized reaction chamber. So let's get one more of those. We'll put it here. And then I just have to, let's configure its inputs. It's item in the left, gases in the left, and fluids in the left. All right, and then I just have to pipe all those inputs there. It produces spare oxygen, which I think we can safely void. And just like that, the production starts. So let's take our gas tank, put it here, set it to void excess mode, and configure you to dump gases out here, auto eject. All right, and then I just need to input this HDPE somewhere. For now, how about let's grab a bin to store it in. I don't know how much we need. Let's go for 8,000. We're not gonna need more than 8,000, right? If we do, upgrading the bin's pretty easy too. All right, let's put it here, right in the face of this thing, and have it auto eject items to it. Aha, nice. So now we have a bin and a system that is automatically producing HDPE. Now, we're not quite done yet. I believe this process produces more ethylene than it gets consumed. So we actually do need a way to void excess ethylene. Let me double check if that's right. Just so I'm sure, the process of creating substrate makes 100 millibuckets of ethylene, right? Which, when you consume the substrate, you only consume 50 millibuckets of it. So yeah, it does produce an extra 50 millibuckets of ethylene. Now, one thing you can do with that is use it to turn extra substrate into more substrate. But but I'm just going to do the simple thing and throw it out. So instead of having this output into a tube, I'm going to have it put it into a gas tank. And then have it hit the dump excess button. Now the input into here gets a little bit trickier because I didn't leave myself a space for it. Thankfully machines have more sides. So I'm outputting the ethylene now to the top, to the tank, and then sending that into our rotary condenser. Alright, so this process is now running, but it's a little slow. I'm going to put some speed and energy upgrades into the keep bits. So, well, hold on. Let's make sure, first of all, that this electrolytic separator is going to make excess oxygen, not excess hydrogen. I think that's a pretty easy thing to confirm. So each piece of substrate, basically we have a 1-to-1 ratio of substrate to HDP pellets, right? So for each piece of HDP pellet we make, we consume 100 millibuckets of hydrogen and 10 millibuckets of oxygen. But we only produce hydrogen at a 2-to-1 ratio with oxygen. So eventually oxygen will be the bottleneck. So we set oxygen to dump excess hydrogen just to, store whatever. Like once this is filled, we'll use that to stop the machine. Alright, so now just to put speed upgrades and things. I put 2 upgrades into each machine, but it seems like this pressurized reaction chamber takes longer to run than this one. So let's put a 3rd upgrade in this. And I think that'll be pretty close to having even production rates. We're probably at this point pretty darn close to the point where our biofuel generation, whatever, is going to be the bottleneck. So yeah, we produce a piece of ethylene or a piece of, what is it, an HDP pellet? Yeah, every, what do you say that is, second or so? Approximately. Now with this, we can turn it into sheets. So we can go 8-to-1 by hand or 3-to-1 in an enrichment chamber. But that just means that if you do it in a, enrichment factory, you eventually run into the process where the, recipes get too distributed and it gets stuck. I kind of wish the machine on AutoSort would figure this out on its own and be like, oh yeah, if I distribute items like that, I get stuck, so I shouldn't do that, or I should fix it. But I guess the machine's not that intelligent. Anyways, I think the quest switched to get some HDPE sheets. We probably don't need all that many. I guess the quest is just to make the Signalum solar panel. So yeah, we probably honestly don't need like hundreds of this. So, I mean, even if we do need hundreds, I can just craft hundreds by hand. That's no big deal. Let me put in the recipe for the Signalum solar panel and see how that looks. Uh-oh, we've run out of slots in our alloy smelter here. And normally you can just add another crafter, right, to the machine. But because we rely on this weird blocking mode behavior, it's very difficult to put 2 crafters on one machine. So I think I can probably pull out some of these recipes though. Probably pull out the another or refine, what is this called? The quartz enriched iron one, because there's always going to be, quartz enriched iron in the network already. This means if I request a huge craft, something that requires, more than whatever this is set to, 500, the system won't know how to make more on demand. But that's probably fine. All right, let's try to make that Signalum solar panel now. Aha, no errors. That's good news. Start. All right, let's keep an eye on the craft. Ooh, what's stuck here? What are these stuck on? It's this machine? Oh, it did the thing. All right, remember last episode when I was like crazy? It did the thing. It put 5 recipes worth of lava in here, but it put 0 recipes worth of silicon wafers in here. And it's like, help me. I can't craft but if you put the silicon wafers in here, you can craft. Stupid refined storage. Make me look like an idiot. Anyways, yeah. Honestly don't know how to fix this. I think if I just hand put silicon in there, it fixes it. That's why there was a hopper up against this machine earlier. But yeah, it for some reason refined storage is like, well, I put 1 craft of lava in here and it didn't start. But instead of trying to put the silicon in here, it just whines to you. It's like, I help me, Jimmy. I don't know what to do. There's lava in here, but I can't put silicon in here. But spoiler, refined storage, you can put silicon in there. All you have to do is put it in there. Yeah, so it's fixed now, but I honestly don't know why the machine got confused like that. Whatever. It's apparently something that's going to happen repeatedly, so I might have to come up with a long-term solution, but maybe not. Anyways, for now, it looks like our crafting's going. I might put some speed upgrades in the solar panel crafting, especially like the leadstone one, because it crafts at a fixed rate. So if I can find which one that is, I'll put some speed upgrades in it. Ah, I found it. So put speed upgrades makes crafters faster. Suspect that comes as a surprise to no one. I'm so surprised to me when the machine's not actually crafting any faster. What? Did I put in the wrong one? No, it's this one. Oh, that's hardened. Okay, so that's my fault. I'll take full responsibility for that one. Now I don't know which machine that was in anymore. Let's try it again. This time, putting the upgrades in the machine that's actually making the leadstone. Oh, and now it's done. Well, you know what? Make me a second one of these so I can test if my upgrades work. Because we're gonna need way more than one anyways. I guess now the bottleneck is somewhere else. Well, you know what? Good enough for government work. Let's take a look at the next tier solar panel. Looks like there's another intermediate step here. So this will call for a thermal evaporator, probably to make lithium, if I had to guess. Aha, my intuition was right. We need lithium dust and indarium ingots for this. I assume indarium is, yeah, that's no big deal. So lithium is made by crystallizing lithium, which is made, this doesn't tell you. Well, if you, the solar evaporate, can't you make liquid gaseous lithium? What mechanism? Tell me. Yeah, okay. So the thermal evaporation chamber can make brine from water. So you turn water into brine, and then you turn brine into liquid lithium, which you can decondensate into gaseous lithium, into lithium dust. Which is a few steps, but looking at the time, I think we'll leave this project for tomorrow. So we've gotten through a few of the solar panel tiers, right? We've gotten up to Sigmalum, but there's still the hardest ones remaining. I suspect there's about 2 more episodes of this series left. So yeah, we'll pick up this up here tomorrow with the higher tier solar panels. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.